happy Monday. We're going to try and get your week off to a great start. I'm Paolo del Rosario. Let's get you up to speed with some news that you could use right now.
Rise and shine, beautiful people. I'm Anne Asis-Carilo. Brand new week, brand new day. And let's make sure that your Monday starts great with loads of laughter, inspiration, and good vibes. Happy Monday. I'm Monique Tuzon. Your mornings are always more fun with us. Join us in the next hour and a half for stories and conversations that matter. Did you guys see my prompter? They've been trying to trick me. Last week on Wednesday, they said it was Thursday. And then now it said Happy Friday. So excited na tayo for Friday. I got confused.
They're trying to test you.
I said, wait lang.
Let's see if Monique is awake at this time.
I was reading it, Happy Friday. I said, wait, is it Friday again?
Hindi ka naman Ron Burgundy that reads everything on the prompter as it is.
Some depends.
Right? Like if there was a question mark on a Happy Monday, you could say Happy Monday.
No.
Exactly. Right? Because you don't do it by the prompter.
Testing me. It's okay. I passed it.
But it is a Monday. But I got.
Are you sure it's Monday?
I got a little bit confused though when my alarm went off this morning. I was like, why am I waking up this early? Oh my goodness, it's a Monday.
I actually panicked on Saturday. My alarm went off at like 6 o'clock and I said, oh, I'm late.
Oh my goodness.
I was panicking and I said, wait, it's Saturday.
Excited kasi magtrabaho eh. No?
Exactly.
We're not all like that. But then, of course, great. I don't know, for all of the sports lovers out there, this morning was a great day for Alex Ayala in particular. Her biggest win, the biggest win in Philippine tennis, I think, ever. I'm not sure if, complete history, but then this is the first time a Filipino has beaten a former Grand Slam winner since 2003.
Wow.
There's Alex Ayala is the only Filipino in the world tour at the moment as a professional. And the biggest win in she beat 2 Grand Slam winners back-to-back in the Miami Open, and she moves on past the round of 32, moving on to the round of 16. And I just ruined the newsread for later. But,
yeah, I know. I said, wow, Anne is rubbing off on you with the spoilers.
No, but then here's the thing. So I stayed up. I have zero sleep because of that. I stayed up for the entire match. It started out at 2 a.m. It ended at like 4:30, and I was just messaging people, whoever was up, tennis people, whoever was up, and just talking about it because Alex Ayala just did something amazing, and I think we're gonna hear more and more about it as the week goes by, especially if she makes it beyond even the next round. So we'll see what happens.
And I love that it's happening now, the month of March, because it's Women's Month, Filipino pride right there.
She's killing it.
Yeah.
So I'll stay up for her next game.
Are you really?
I will try, because I do want to watch her. I just haven't had the chance.
What time is it?
The one a while ago was 2 a.m. Actually, it got moved because it was originally supposed to be at midnight. So I thought that I could watch it like midnight or 12:30, and then it got moved to like 2 a.m. and I'm like, oh no. But yeah, whatever. There's no way I was gonna miss Alex Ayala doing what she did. And yeah, I mean, from start to finish, she looked strong. She went out for a quick medical timeout in the middle, but then she just looked great.
Yeah, there we go. We don't need our sports anymore, guys. Let's cut out our sports item. Ayan na.
In advance na ni Paolo yung sports item natin. But yeah, this morning we are here to give you lots of information, lots of entertainment for the next hour and a half. But first, let's start with news that you can use. Let's check out the major roads in Metro Manila at this hour. Here is the situation along EDSA Quezon Avenue. On the left side of your screens are vehicles going to Quiapo. On the right side are vehicles bound for Quezon Memorial Circle. As you can see, both lanes, light to moderate traffic on both stretches of Quezon Avenue at this time. Now let's take a look at the EDSA White Plains area. On the left side is the southbound lane going to Shaw Boulevard. On the right side of your screens, you will be seeing the northbound lane headed to Cubao. Moderate traffic already building up if you are heading south. On the opposite lane, light to moderate traffic as well. Drive safe, everyone. The expanded vehicle number coding scheme is in full swing today. On a Monday, vehicles with license plates ending in 1 and 2 should be off the road right about now until 10 a.m. and again later on from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Now, motorists, y'all better gas up now as oil prices are expected to increase this week after 3 weeks of rollbacks. Gasoline is forecast to have the biggest hike by as much as 1 peso per liter. Diesel could increase by up to 50 centavos per liter and kerosene by up to 30 centavos per liter. Factors for the price increase include renewed tensions in the Middle East. Now let's find out what the weather's going to be like this Monday. Paolo has today's forecast from Weather HQ. Take it away, Pao Pao.
Thank you so much, Mo. It's a Monday, by the way, just so she is sure. Now, let's check out the weather here for this Monday. According to Pag-asa, there are 3 weather systems currently affecting the country today. Now, the northeast monsoon is impacting northern Luzon, bringing partly cloudy to cloudy skies, mostly cloudy skies, with isolated rain showers over the Ilocos region, the Cordillera Administrative Region, and the Cagayan Valley. So all these areas that we are showing you right here. Now, the easterlies are also influencing the rest of Luzon as well as the Visayas region. This will bring cloudy skies with scattered rain showers and isolated thunderstorms over the Bicol region, Palawan, Romblon, Western Visayas, Northern Samar, Eastern Samar, and Samar itself. Now, in Mindanao, the Intertropical Convergence Zone, or ITCZ, has returned. Now, this will cause cloudy skies and scattered rain showers and thunderstorms, specifically, or rather, especially in Davao, in the Zamboanga Peninsula, right over here in Soxargen and in Barm as well. Now, let's take a look at Metro Manila and the rest of the country. You can expect to see partly to mostly cloudy skies with isolated rain showers or thunderstorms. Now, this is due to the easterlies, so Metro Manila and everywhere else where you're going to feel the easterlies. Now, in this kind of weather, make sure to protect yourself from getting wet, and if the temperature does rise, stay hydrated and avoid prolonged exposure to the heat. Now, remember, take your vitamins, stay healthy, especially with the changing weather conditions. Now, aside from the rain we're expecting today due to the weather systems affecting the country, Pag-asa has also reported that there are several areas that are facing dangerously high heat indices. This will range between 38 to 39 degrees Celsius. Now, areas under extreme caution include Coron, Palawan, and Hinatuan, Surigao del Sur. Now, these are all expected to have a heat index of around 39 degrees Celsius. Meanwhile, in San Jose, Occidental Mindoro, 38 degrees Celsius is the expected heat index. Now, other areas experiencing heat indices between 36 to 37 degrees Celsius and thus under extreme caution are Metro Manila, Dagupan, Pangasinan, and Ginobatan, Albay. Now, these are all expected to have heat indices of 37 degrees Celsius. Now, meanwhile, in Tuguegarao City in Cagayan, Puerto Princesa, Palawan, Cuyo, Palawan, Pili, Camarines Sur, Tacloban City in Leyte, and Butuan City, Agusan del Sur, 36 degrees Celsius is the expected heat index. Now, it's important to take note that the risk of heat-related illnesses increases significantly with prolonged exposure to these extreme temperatures, especially during the hottest parts of the day. So, stay safe, stay hydrated, and prioritize your health as we navigate through these extreme weather conditions. Now, with regard to the sea conditions, there are no gale warnings that have been issued, so fisherfolk and mariners are free to venture out to sea. However, always stay alert and keep updated on weather advisories for your own safety. Now, that is it for Weather HQ at the moment. Back to you, girls.
Thank you so much, Pao. In other news, several schools have announced suspension of classes today due to the expected effect of a transport strike. Transport Group Manibela announced that they will hold a strike to protest the alleged inaccurate figures of the public transport modernization program. Senior high school classes of the Makati and Intramuros campus of Mapua University are suspended, while school admins announced that classes in all levels are canceled on Monday in Adamson University, Colegio de San Juan de Letran, De La Salle University, Far Eastern University, Pamantasan ng Lungsod ng Maynila, and the University of Santo Tomas. Transport Secretary Vince Dizon has ordered deployment of additional buses and trains, while Metro Manila Development Authority will also provide free rides to affected areas.
Good news for motorists. Traffic in the North Luzon Expressway, or NLEX, from Marilao Interchange in Bulacan will soon end, as NLEX Corporation expects the repair to be done by the end of March. After a truck hit the 60-year-old bridge, travel time through the northbound lane has been longer since. For the meantime, motorists should take alternate routes according to NLEX Corporation. For those heading to Manila, take the NLEX Bocaue southbound interchange exit until you enter the NLEX Maykawayan southbound. Meanwhile, for those heading Bulacan and Pampanga, take the NLEX Karahutan exit, then enter the NLEX Ciudad de Victoria northbound or the Bocaue interchange.
Auto Research has released the results of its latest non-commissioned survey on voter preference for party list groups. Leading the race is the 4Ps party list backed by House Minority Leader Nonoy Libanan and House Assistant Minority Leader JC Abalos. Projected to secure 3 seats in the House of Representatives, now trailing closely behind is ACT-CIS party list associated with the Tulfo family, also with 3 potential seats. Meanwhile, Galing sa Puso party list ranks 3rd, expected to win 2 seats. Rounding out the top 14 are Tingog, Ako Bicol, Uswag Ilonggo, Duterte Youth, FPJ, Panday Bayanihan, Nanay, Senior Citizens, Ang Probinsyano, Abono, Tupad, and PPP. The survey was conducted from February 22 to 28. It had a plus-minus 3% margin of error and a 95% confidence level.
The pre-voting enrollment for registered voters in the United States of America has begun. The Philippine Consulate General reminds Filipinos abroad that the pre-voting enrollment only applies to those who accomplish their voting credentials during the registration period. The pre-voting enrollment ends on May 7. Over 1.2 million Filipinos overseas are registered voters, according to data from the Commission on Elections.
Social media platform TikTok was called out on condoning fake news to circulate on the internet. One Rider Party List Representative Rog Gutierrez raised concerns on the proliferation of fake information that Palawan is not within the bounds of Philippine territory. In the TRICOM hearing in the House, TikTok's public policy head, Pichi Paderna, said they do not allow fake news content. She also reported that over 4 million videos were moderated and removed in violation of TikTok's community guidelines. However, Gutierrez responds that there is a lack of a stricter moderation policy that actively bans content that peddles misinformation and disinformation.
Supporters of former President Rodrigo Duterte gathered at the Malieville Park in The Hague, Netherlands, where they were greeted by Senator Robin Padilla. Meanwhile, Filipino International Human Rights Group staged a protest in front of Berlin's Brandenburg Gate in Germany to show solidarity with families of extrajudicial killings after Duterte's arrest. The former president is now at the ICC detention center as he awaits a September 23 confirmation of charge hearing for crimes against humanity case.
In other news, the ceremony for the 38th PMPC Star Awards took place last night at the Dolphy Theater. Billionaire News Channel's management and anchors personally accepted the awards and thanked organizers for the recognition. BNC was cited for Best News Program, Agenda, and Best Female Newscaster, Corina Sanchez. Best Public Affairs Program, On Point, Best Sports Show, The Scorecard, and Best Sports Show Host, Anton Rojas. Best Lifestyle and Travel Show, The Lifestyle Lab, and Best Lifestyle Travel Show Host, Marie Lozano Gikoski. The star-studded event will air on April 25 at 10:30 p.m. on A to Z.
Good news from Vatican City. Pope Francis was released from the hospital on Sunday after 5 weeks of treatment for double pneumonia, his longest and most serious illness in his 12 years of papacy. The Pope made his first public appearance in 5 weeks, coming out on the balcony at Rome's Gemelli Hospital to greet hundreds of well-wishers. Francis then went into the Basilica briefly to pray before he was brought back to Casa Santa Marta in the Vatican, where he lives. His doctor said he will require 2 months of rest to fully recover.
In other world news, an Israeli strike killed a Hamas political leader in Gaza, the militant group said on Sunday. The Hamas leader and his wife were killed in an airstrike in southern Gaza. 40 more Palestinians were also killed. The leader was identified as a member of Hamas' decision-making body who held posts such as heading the delegation for indirect truce talks with Israel in 2009. After 2 months of relative calm in the war, Gazans have again been fleeing for their lives after Israel effectively abandoned the ceasefire. Israeli military had launched a new all-out air and ground campaign against Hamas Tuesday last week.
Now, overall in sports, the magical run of Alex Ayala continues at the Miami Open. The Filipino wildcard scored the biggest victory yet of her career against world number 5 and the defending Australian Open champion, Madison Keys. Last week, Ayala defeated another Grand Slam champion and Yelena Ostapenko in South Beach. The Rafael Nadal Academy graduate is off to the final 16 and will face Spain's Paula Badoza.
I'm so blank. I'm thinking of my parents who are watching now. Mom, Dad, nakuha ko! Oh my God!
Well, here at home, the championship is within reach for Barangay Ginebra San Miguel in the PBA Commissioner's Cup. The Gin Kings defeated D&T Tropang Giga in Game 5 of the finals on Sunday at the Smart Araneta Coliseum. Final score, 73-66. Resident import Justin Brownlee showing his willpower despite a thumb injury with 18 points and 14 rebounds. Our best player of the game is Scotty Thompson. Likewise, filled the stat sheets with 16 points and 15 boards, plus 5 assists. Ginebra leads this championship series 3-2. The Gin Kings can win it all in Game 6, while TNT seeks to extend the series on Wednesday, March 26, still at the Big Doe. Now, over in the UAAP, the NU Lady Bulldogs extend their winning ways in round 2 of the women's volleyball in season 87. The defending champs defeated the LaSalle Lady Spikers on Sunday at the Mall of Asia Arena in Pasay. MVP frontrunner Bella Belen led the volleyball queens with 23 points plus 17 receptions. NU remains perfect so far this season with 8 wins and 0 losses. LaSalle is in a 3-way tie with FEU and UST on the team standings with 5 wins and 3 losses each. In the first game, the FEU Lady Tamaraws escaped the UST Golden Tigresses in 4 sets. Faida Bacanque led the Tams with a game-high 22 points. Now shifting gears into motorsports, make it back-to-back wins for McLaren as Oscar Piastri reigned supreme in the Chinese Grand Prix. The Australian racer roars back from a season-opening disappointment to secure the victory in Shanghai on Sunday. Piastri's McLaren teammate Lando Norris finished second after his triumphant campaign in the Australian Grand Prix, while Red Bull's Max Verstappen came in at third. Ferrari's Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton finished 5th and 6th, but the Ferrari tandem were disqualified when their cars failed post-race technical checks.
Now moving on to entertainment, Hollywood actor Edward Norton becomes National Geographic's Agent of Change honoree. Norton was recognized for his work as a key leader in a Kenya-based organization that helps conserve ecosystems and biodiversity in Maasai and East Africa. National Geographic 33 is an initiative that honors a new generation of trailblazers making an impact in science, conservation, policy, and storytelling. Disney's new live-action Snow White debuted with underwhelming box office numbers over the weekend. The $270 million remake made an estimated $87 million on its opening globally. This comes after the movie was dodged by controversies over race, elections, and Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Disney's selection of Colombian-American Rachel Zegler prompted backlash for casting a person of color in a lead role. Zegler fanned some of the controversy by calling out Trump and supporters during the 2024 elections. On the other hand, Gal Gadot, who plays the evil queen, provoked calls for a boycott of the movie after expressing support for her native country, Israel, in the aftermath of the October 7 terror attack. Pro-Palestinian and pro-Israeli protesters faced off last week after Gadot received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
We take a look at sustainable farming, a sustainable farming method that seeks to address food security issues and boosting local agriculture in urban areas. That conversation with the group Planet Habitat is up next. Stay tuned. It's a beautiful day. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're still watching It's a Beautiful Day. This is Weather HQ. Now, hydroponics is a soil-free farming method used by some farmers in the Philippines. Now, this sustainable technique provides a solution to food security issues and enables year-round production, particularly sa mga urban areas, and of course, boosts local agriculture. To learn more, we're now joined via Zoom by Harold Zapata of Plant Habitat. Magandang umaga, Harold. Thank you so much for joining us today on this beautiful day.
Magandang umaga po, sir.
Right, Harold, okay, pag-usapan muna natin kung ano nga ba ang hydroponics. Soil-free, at least yan yung dictionary description. Pero how would you describe yung hydroponics?
Hydroponics po kasi is a soilless cultivation of plants. So sa madaling salita po, para madaling maintindihan, dito po is hindi na tayo gumagamit ng lupa. So tubig at abono na ang nagpapagana. So inalis na natin yung kagaya sa traditional farming na soil, then everyday nagdidilig. So medyo laborless sa dito since na ilalagay mo na lang yung tubig at fertilizer, then yung halaman na mag-isa ang kakain ng kanyang sustansya at sariling pangangailangan.
Harold, it sounds too good to be true. Labor-free, walang lupa. So ano bang science dito? Anong technology ang kailangan para dito?
So sa hydroponics kasi, sir, marami tayong techniques na ginagamit eh. So meron tayong tinatawag na Kratky, which is stagnant. So dito kadalasan ginagamit ng mga beginners. So meron naman tayong NFT or yung nutrient film technique na ginagamit namin dito sa farm. So dito naman is meron tayong water pump na nagsusupply ng tubig papunta doon sa mga halaman na tanim natin. Then bicapillary action o yung coco pits na mag-a-absorb ng tubig. Then iaakyat niya yun sa ating mga halaman. So napakadali, napakasimple. So medyo makakasave ka ng time at saka ng effort.
Sige, saving time and effort, syempre importante yan. But then, kapag pinag-uusapan natin hydroponics, minsan some people might be wondering, paano ka nagsisimula? Saan ka nagsimula in terms of hydroponics?
Ang story ko dyan, sir, is nag-pandemic. So blessing in disguise kasi online class, ang dami nating time. Then neto, meron ako nakita sa YouTube. So local ang gumagawa. Since naapo ako ng farmer, hindi ako masyadong nahirapan. Hindi naman talaga siya mahirap pag naintindihan mo. So doon ako nag-start sa picture. 9 boxes lang ng lalagyan ng ubas. Then yun eventually nag-grow every time na makapag-harvest ako. So hindi naman ako, kumbaga hindi naging hindrance na wala kang puhunan eh. Kasi ako mismo nag-start lang sa recyclable materials lang. So yun, na-execute natin sa kahit wala pa tayong puhunan noong panahon na yun.
So ano mga naging hamon mo sa simula?
Marami, sir, kasi yung panahon na yun, wala akong maayos na greenhouse. Greenhouse po, pag ibig sabihin is yun yung tirahan ng halaman. Kumbaga doon natin sila ilalagay para maproteksyonan sa sobrang init at saka sa malakas na ulan. So syempre, pag walang maayos na ganun, every time na umuulan, nasisira. So ang ginagawa ko, naalala ko, pag panahon na tag-ulan, kasabay kong nababasa ang halaman para lang proteksyonan yung plastic kasi yung plastic is hindi pa designed para sa greenhouse talaga. So tinatali namin yun na hindi siya kaya sa malalakas na hangin. Then yun, sir, yun talaga malaking challenges. Actually, hindi lang nang nag-hydro, lahat ng farmers. Kasi lahat sa loob ng greenhouse, controlled mo, pero hindi natin kayang makipag-compete sa nature eh. So yun talaga.
Alright, so now we have an idea kung paano ka nagsimula sa hydroponics, and of course, not a lot of people nagsisimula sa pandemic, tinutuloy after the pandemic yung mga hobby nila or at least yung mga pinapick up nila na trabaho. But then, you now have plant habitat. Ano nga ba ang plant habitat? Paano ito nagsimula?
Si Plant Habitat kasi sir, dinesign ko talaga siya para, yun nga, iangat yung pangalan ng magsasaka. Since na apo ako na magsasaka, yun nga, nakita ko na yung lolo ko, hindi niya ako kinonvince na maging farmer. Pero since na Gen Z tayo, so talamak ang social media, nakikita natin yung mga posting ng iba. So parang sabi ko, ang ganda nitong farming eh. Lagyan lang ng konting twist. And eventually, baka ito kasi yung ito yung potential na paggaan natin since nawawala na yung agricultural land. So ito yung modern farming kasi ito eh. Ito na ang modern farming. So lahat nako-convert na into industrial. Alam naman natin, yung mga buildings, pag tinayo is parang Lego na lang. Napakabilis. So napakabilis din ng development. Ang cons nun is nawawala yung mga taniman. So maybe 3 to 5 years from now, baka kumonti na lang ang magsasaka. So si Plant Habitat is yung isa siguro na advocacy ko, isa palaganapin. Since na ang lolo ko, hindi ako kinonvince, malamang ang lolo din ng iba, hindi na i-convince yung mga apo nila na magsaka. So ano mangyayari pag ganun? Mawawala ang magiging interesado. Na nangyayari talaga ho. Kumukonti ang farmers po ngayon, pero ito ang solusyon. Hydroponics farming, since na hindi na tayo magbubungkal, hindi na tayo masyadong mabibilad, so konti lang din ang mako-consume niyang time. So fit na fit to para sa mga generation namin ngayon.
So masasabi mo ba ito yung new generation ng farming?
Yes, sir, yes.
Pang Gen Z talaga.
Pang-Gen Z po.
Alright, so ano-ano mga produkto ninyo at serbisyo sa Plant Habitat?
Since na 4 years na tayo dito, sir, meron na tayong lettuce production. Yan, nagbebenta na rin tayo ng mga harvest. So nagtitrain na din tayo ng mga tao, may mga webinars and consultation na rin. Then nagtatayo na rin tayo ng mga greenhouse. So greenhouse po is pag gusto nila magpagawa ng isang setup na hindi na sila mapapagod. So package na natin na ano yun. At saka yung materials po ng hydroponics. So parang ano na siya, one-stop service na po one-stop hydroponics shop na siya.
Ano ang target market nyo sa Plant Habitat?
Dito sir, sa produce namin sir, ang tina-target namin is yung mga restaurant talaga na hindi, since na naka-greenhouse siya, hindi kami gumagamit ng pesticide and fungicide eh. So target namin talaga yung mga taong health conscious syempre. Then sa trainings, yun nga, ang sabi ko, advocacy ko talaga is mapalaganap yung mahikayat yung mga kabataan na magsaka. So sila talaga ang tina-target ko kasi sa may mga edad, syempre hindi na nila i-venture kadalasan yan eh kasi nga ayaw na nga nila. So kailangan natin kasi ng bagong generation ng farmers. So yan ang pinakaano ko talaga, tina-target ko ngayon as of now po.
Na-mention mo nung nagsimula ka, wala kang greenhouse, konti lang yung mga kahon na ginagamit mo. Can you give us an idea kung gaano kalaki yung Plant Habitat ngayon? And of course, how many farmers have you encouraged so far to start hydroponic farming?
Nag-start ako sir sa 9 grade boxes. Ewan ko familiar po kayo sa 9 grade box, yun po yung lalagyan ng ubas. So 9 pieces lang po nun. So meron akong 72 na tanim. So 72 heads of lettuce. Then ngayon si Plant Habitat is yung greenhouse ko na DIY, siguro mga 10 to 15 square meter lang. Yan, yun nasa ano po. Pero ngayon is nasa 1,000 na yung total area.
Wow.
Then meron tayong 3 greenhouses. Then sa mga na-encourage naman po, siguro sir, marami naman na. Diyan ako makakasigurado na marami tayong na-inspire siguro. Sana ngayon, habang may nanonood, at least isa, dalawa, meron man gumawa. Okay na ako doon. Pero yan sir, madami na tayong naturuan. Iba't ibang lugar, iba't ibang school, at iba't ibang ano rin sir. Meron na rin tayong naturuan na sa international po.
Mukhang yung mga partner ko dito, interesado sila magsimula ng hydroponic farm. Pero syempre, kapag pinag-usapan natin yung hydroponic farming at urban farming, pareho ba yan? Or is it something that you feel na kailangan pa natin pag-aralan in terms of how to conduct urban farming na gamit hydroponics dito sa Manila?
Yes sir, actually sir, sobrang dali lang naman niya. Pag pinakinggan mo lang yung term, parang napaka-komplikado. So yan yung, ngayon, yan yung ginagawa ko talaga. Paano siya i-simplify? Madaling matutunan, madaling maintindihan. So hindi naman kailangan masyadong theoretical pag tinuro eh. Kasi ako po, ako din minsan, pag nag-start nakinig, hindi ko rin siya masyadong makuha pag masyadong maraming information. So madali lang siya, sir. Kaya feel ko madali talagang gawin at kayang-kaya po. Yun po ang masisigurado ko. Hindi nakakailanganin na sinasabi nilang green thumb dito.
Hindi ba na-overwhelm ng mga tao kapag sinabi mo, tuturuan ko kayo ng hydroponics? Kasi sabi mo nga, medyo scary yung term hydroponics. Napaka-scientific pakinggan
Yes, sir.
Pero when you explain it to other people, paano mo sinisimplify?
Yes, sir. Sa 4 years kasi, sir, meron lang ako mga iilan na tinanggal na pwede pa rin siyang mag-result ng maganda. So sa sistema niya, sa process niya, meron akong iilang prosesong tinanggal, meron akong iibang parameters na tinanggal. Parameters, yun po yung sukat sa tubig para pababain nga yung cost at saka pabilisin yung trabaho. At the same time, magre-result pa rin siya ng maganda. So sa mga interesado, wag po kayong matakot. Sinisigurado ko naman na kahit bata, maiintindihan kung paano gawin to. Kasi hindi naman siya talaga komplikado eh. Siguro, hindi lang tayo sanay sa technology talaga. Yun siguro po.
Harold, nung nagsimula ka mag-hydroponics, akalaan mo ba na ito magiging negosyo mo? Ito magiging advocacy mo?
Hindi talaga, sir. Hindi talaga. Nag-start lang siya, parang hobby lang. Kaya lang, nung nagtinda ako sa parking lot, hindi pa talamak ang nagtatanim noon. Halos, hindi ko masabi kung ako pa lang pero nakita ko po na sold out, pinagkaguluhan. Parang meron akong etong ginagawa na to is malaki ang potential. Since na pagkain siya and gulay, healthy, at the same time, hindi ka na masyadong magbubungkal, hindi sa typical na ginagawa at napakadali niya. Set and forget nga po ang ibang term. Doon, sir, hindi ko rin, siguro blessing na lang ni Lord. Nag-e-expand siguro hanggang ngayon. Sabi nga nila, pag pinag-connect mo yung dots, isang line na pala na mahaba yan. So tuloy-tuloy lang, sir. Di ko rin na-imagine na aabot tayo sa ganitong makapagturo tayo sa iba't ibang school. And at the same time kasi, yun nga, yung sabi ko, bago namatay yung lolo ko, actually hindi lang sa lolo ko, nakita ko kasi sa journey ko, sa process ko, nakamit ako ng iba't ibang farmer, iba't ibang estado, merong mataas, merong mababa, merong, alam niyo yun, sir, merong hindi na inaambunan. So nakita ko ano ang hirap. Sabi ko parang hindi balance talaga. Merong masipag na hindi nako-compensate yung pagod. So feeling ko dito isa ako sa makakatulong pag nakaka-inspire ako ng tao. Then na ma-market yung industriya namin siguro talaga. Yan talaga ang pinakaano ko. Kasi alam naman natin, sir, dati tinatawag na magsasaka lang. So yun yung kailangan natin alisin dahil pag walang pagkain, alam naman natin na hindi gagana talaga yung ekonomiya ng bansa.
Harold,
So
inspiring
kailangan
yung
talaga
story.
importansya ang farming talaga. Lalo na ngayon, sir.
Sobrang inspiring kwento mo. And of course, for those who want to reach out to Plant Habitat, how can they do so?
Yan po, sir. Meron po tayong page na Plant Habitat. So pwede po kayo mag-message doon. So meron naman tayong admin na sumasagot. So minsan ako din, pag may mga tanong kayo at bakante naman, ako po mismo ang sumasagot. Then meron kaming mga event na ginagawa gaya ng free hydroponic workshop minsan. So pwede din kayong pumasyal dito sa farm. Open naman po to. Then kung gusto nyo rin po mag-start at hindi nyo alam saan kayo bibili ng supplies and materials, dito lang din po sa page sa Plant Habitat, mag-message lang din po kayo. And pwede nyo rin po akong kontakin sa 0955-097-2296. At syempre, located po to sa Sitio Pirsa, Barangay Pandaras, City of San Fernando, Pampanga.
Harold, maraming salamat. Thank you so much for your time at yung mga efforts mo, and good luck, and hopefully more and more people
Thank you,
will get into hydroponic farming. Ladies and gentlemen, ito po si Harold Zapata of Plant Habitat. Maraming salamat po. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, so now we turn back over to the girls. Girls, take it away.
Thank you, Pao. Now we've got an important and interesting conversation up ahead with a woman leading the Philippine Coffee Board, Chit Juan. We ask for the efforts it's taking for Philippines coffee to meet its own coffee demands and about the looming global coffee crisis up ahead. That's after the break. It's a beautiful day. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're still watching It's a Beautiful Day. A crisis is brewing in the sector responsible for your morning cups of coffee. And behind the nationwide efforts aiming to boost coffee production in the Philippines, a woman led by passion and science. She joins us live this morning, the president of the Philippine Coffee Board, Ms. Chit Juan. It's a beautiful day, Ms. Chit. It's
Hello.
a pleasure to have the coffee queen here in our studio.
Thank you.
Yes, so we have to bow down to Ms. Chit. So, Ms. Chit, we've been chatting earlier before the show because I personally love coffee, and I know there's a lot of misinformation surrounding Philippine coffee in particular. So before we start the interview, let's debunk some myths surrounding Barako and what
Okay.
types of coffee we produce here in the Philippines.
Perfect. Okay, so you want me to start?
Yes,
go
please.
ahead.
It's going to go on for like 3 hours.
Yeah, but if you can condense it to like 10 minutes.
I know, like
Pressure.
like your previous guest, Galing. Anyway, the Philippines, we are special in a way that we grow 4 varieties of coffee. So just to give you a mnemonic, REAL. So we have Robusta, Excelsa, Arabica, and Liberica. So people ask, oh, nasan yung Barako? It's Liberica. That's Barako. So Liberica is the scientific name. However, going to the myths, people think, basta sinabing Barako, it's brewed coffee.
Yeah.
Or brewed coffee is Barako. And why is that? Well, maybe because a lot of the coffee used to come from Batangas,
Yes.
like you said, Cavite, these parts around Taal Volcano. Because usually coffee grows in volcanic soil and also on high mountains. So in the Philippines, it's not just Taal, it's not just Batangas, but it's really all over the country. So from Benguet, Cordillera, all the way down to Sulu, Basilan, we have coffee.
Nice. Fun fact.
Yun. So, 4 varieties. Did
you know?
Conversation starters.
Of course.
So
Diba?
Barako is Liberica.
Yeah, but
Yes, thank you.
another thing that we have to talk about here is that there is a program that the Philippine Coffee Board has, the Plant Coffee Pilipinas. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Well, before the pandemic, we thought that since everybody, all the young ones, the Gen Zs, Gen Alpha, everybody's into the coffee shop trend,
Yeah.
tasting coffees, cupping coffees. Well, who's going to plant?
Right.
No, so we consume, just for perspective, we consume about almost 200,000 metric tons of coffee. That's a lot.
Oh my gosh.
Guess how much we're producing? About 30,000.
Wow.
So that 170,000 metric tons comes in instant coffee, comes in coffees from all over Indonesia,
Yeah.
Vietnam. But this year, especially, climate change has caused coffee farms around the world to have decrease in production. So, manginginig na tayo. Diba?
Yes.
Hindi pa tayo nagkakape, manginginig na tayo.
Yeah.
Because coffee is going to disappear, you know,
Right,
if we
right.
don't plant. So, sabi namin sa Philippine Coffee Board, we've been here for 22 years. We have to start planting coffee. Yun. And so we have to teach people how to grow seedlings, how to make community-based nurseries, so that they don't have to buy the seedling. They can actually, you know, if you buy coffee fruits, then you can sow your own seeds and make your own coffee. Hindi lang hydroponic. This has to be soil-based.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, the soil matters. It feels a bit more complicated to make, considering yung coffee beans. You mentioned the volcanic soil and kailangan certain areas, certain climates.
I say volcanic because it makes it easier.
Yes.
But there are some places with no volcanoes that still have, like, I don't know if Mount Apo is a volcano, but Canlaon definitely is a
Canlaon, yeah.
volcano. So Negros has got good coffee. Negros, Iloilo, Negros Oriental, Occidental. So volcanic soil is good, like they have in Hawaii.
Yeah.
In other places like Indonesia, they have all the erupting volcanoes there, di ba? But also our high mountains. We have Mount Apo. We have the whole range of Cordillera. We're very proud of our Benguet, Ifugao, Nueva Vizcaya, all these CAR and Region 1 coffees.
Yeah.
So it's not just volcanoes, it's also elevation.
Yeah.
And I guess we're, we are blessed. The Philippines kasi belongs to what we call the coffee belt.
Yeah.
Yes, so not everybody can be in the coffee belt.
Actually, my question was actually going to be, when you compare to our neighbors, Vietnam in particular, and Indonesia has so much coffee that a lot of people rave about around the world, where you look at Java, Sumatra, or if you take a look at how Vietnam brews their Robusta in particular. Why is it the Philippines is not at that level of production here compared to our neighbors?
Well, a lot of our coffee lands went to golf courses because they're near the city. So that's one. Number two, coffee is, you have to be patient. It's a crop for the patient because it doesn't fruit in 18 months. Some varieties do, but most will fruit in 3 years. But with climate change, who knows, no? The seasons are crazy. Maybe we'll start having fruits in a shorter period of time. But at the same time, we have to know where to plant the coffee. Because now, the hotter it is, there are more pests when it gets warmer. So we have to look for higher elevations. So that's why we want to plant coffee. And it's simple in the sense that you can plant it in forests. You can plant it, between forest trees. You can plant it with coconut. Like our newest ambassador is Apple the App for coconut and coffee.
Yeah, you guys are planting coconut trees, correct?
Yeah,
With
so
the coffee beans?
coconut and Robusta, as you saw in the farm. So we take people to the farm so they can see, so from seedling it becomes this, I can harvest the fruit, I can actually dry it myself, take it to a mill, and then roast your own coffee. Of course, you have to sort it. Like we have women who just sort the coffee day in and day out.
And that's by hand.
By hand.
Very tedious.
Yes. We also promote organic coffee because in a lot of places in the country, we do have organic coffee because they can't buy fertilizer. So, and it'll still grow.
Yeah.
So rain is good, but while you're patient, nature also gives you the help. Like it's rain fed, so you don't have to water it really.
Ms. Chit, you mentioned a while ago that the Philippines can only produce about 30,000 metric tons of coffee, which cannot meet the demand. That's why we tend to depend on importation of coffee, right? But now the board is doing efforts to really boost the production of coffee here in the Philippines. And you're seeing a lot of coffee shops booming everywhere, like every street, every corner in the malls, ang daming option ng coffee shops, right? How can we, promote buying local coffee? In what ways can we promote buying local coffee?
Well, number one, you have to ask where the coffee comes from.
Yeah.
As a consumer, you have to ask the server, the coffee shop, where does the coffee come from? And the more Philippine coffee you ask for, the more our farmers will benefit from this.
Right.
But if you just say, kape nga, if you don't care, you see, the consumer is a co-producer. If you ask for it, then people will supply it.
Right.
And now people want to know the origin, they want to know the process. But specialty coffee is a small part of the whole coffee demand or the market. So what we want is for Barako to be known internationally, which is gaining ground now. Our Robusta, which is about 90% of our production, to increase. So we don't mind planting Robusta in coconut areas. If they're lower, we can plant Robusta, Barako, and Excelsa. So we have 3.6 million hectares of coconut land. So imagine that even 10% will have 360,000 hectares of coffee. That's very good for us.
And from start to finish, when we talk about planting coffee till it gets in your cup, typically how long is the timeline?
That's about 3 years.
Okay.
So what you need to do is give the farmer or the farm owner cash crops. So coffee can grow with banana, with papaya, peanuts. So while you're waiting for the coffee to fruit, you can actually have unlimited papaya, banana, which I have. Papaya, banana, peanuts. We plant a lot of fruit trees. And then for Arabica, you've got pine trees. So there's a lot of things to do with pine trees also.
Yeah, when you take a look at the program that you're having, the Plant Coffee Pilipinas program, when people want, I'm sure a lot of people want to push forward Philippine coffee. There are very many people who are very invested in Philippine coffee. But then for those who want to actually help and actually be part of the program that you're doing, how do they typically can reach out and what can they do?
Okay, two simple ways. One is we partnered with GCash. So with GCash, I don't know if it's it's a program that we have in G Forest. If you press the G Forest, you can get your energy points and we'll plant the coffee for you.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So with GCash, you're almost 300,000 trees already. 95,000 planted on the ground, and because we have to face it also. No?
Yes.
And GCash, our G Forest partnership starts in Benguet in the north and all the way to Sulu and Basilan in the south. So all over the country, GCash. Second is you can talk to GCash to be the third party who will help them because we already have the system. Okay, we monitor the farmers, they submit reports, they geotag it, so you exactly know where your tree will be planted. So those are the two ways. Your company can also partner with GCash. And then third is you can start your own coffee farm. So we can teach you, we offer training, coffee establishment, coffee farm establishment, nursery establishment. So just find us, in social media, in Instagram and Facebook. And a lot of people start by going on a tour.
Yes.
Like Mo
I
did.
went and I'm obsessed. I love her farm and I actually want to have my own farm.
Yes.
I'm going to buy the lot next to Miss Chit.
Yeah, so you can actually start a little farm, but then you can plant. Coffee grows with almost anything. We don't really want monocrop, like just coffee.
Just one. Yeah.
We want shade, so you can put Madre de Cacao, you can put a lot of trees around the coffee. So it's friendly, it's rain-fed, and all you need to do is prune it regularly. So anybody can start a coffee farm.
Yep, I'm definitely doing that soon. But Miss Chit, you recently had a talk. It's Women's Month still. It's not yet the end of March. We're almost there. But you recently had a talk about women and coffee. So can you tell us how the two are related?
Well, women play a big part in the whole, what we call value chain of coffee, from fruit to cup. So we have women farmers. While the men help them, till the soil, the women sow the seeds. Everything that needs like micro details, women sort the coffee. You put men, they will, but the women
We're
are
not good at it, sorry.
it's and then cuppers, women cuppers, they say that we have more, because anthropologically, I think as mothers, you have to taste first what you give your baby.
Yeah.
So women are blessed with...
So you have more taste.
Parang
well,
sensitive taste buds, I guess.
yes, or receptors.
Yes.
Biologically,
You have more taste buds, I think.
Yeah,
right,
so women cuppers, I think, can taste notes that probably the men won't. But I'm not discriminating.
Yeah.
Men can, of course, say it's chocolate, caramel, etc. But a woman might say there's baked Alaska or sinigang in it. I don't know.
So specific.
So yan,
I love
mga
it.
cupping, ganyan
Yeah.
diba? And then in the sorting and roasting. Because in roasting, you have to listen. It's not just looking at the beans. When you roast, like si Ross, she has to listen, she has to look, you have to smell. It's so sensory.
Right.
Yeah.
Sensory dependent, And then finally, when you make the cup. So when you make the cup of coffee, ang dami, di ba? You have to weigh, grind, but men
It's a
are
science.
men are getting to it, so welcome. But that's why we have a group called International Women's Coffee Alliance. And it's a global group in 35 countries. And I'm lucky to be in the board. So they asked me to do the keynote. And so I'm like, wow. And it's going to be in Houston in April in the specialty coffee event. We'll have the IWCA breakfast. So if you happen to be in Houston on April 24th, 5 ba yun? Hala, I forgot. 26. April 26 at 8 a.m. we'll have breakfast.
Check mo yung calendar.
Yeah. Why not?
We'll all be there. We won't be here.
Yeah, but then just we take a look at all of this, and we're doing this. Well, we're talking to you because we're so curious about the future of Philippine coffee and the growth that's happening right now, and of course, a project that you're helping helm here. But where do you think Philippine coffee is going at its current pace, at its current trend?
It's, I think with all the, majority of our population is the younger generation. I heard you don't want to be called next. So let's say the millennials, the Gen Zs, Alpha, they're all drinking coffee already.
Yeah.
So what you need to do is just be concerned, where will your coffee come from? And I think with that, just like hydroponics, you can start planting coffee.
Right.
Because it's for the future of everyone. I mean, I don't know in my lifetime if I will see our self-sufficiency, but it's a good start.
But do you see us keeping up maybe with the global trends and maybe being up there eventually with Indonesia and Vietnam?
Asia is the new frontier of coffee. So Indonesia, Vietnam, Myanmar, we have a group called the ASEAN Coffee Federation. We have all these groups in coffee. And we are very active members, the Philippine Coffee Board. So we meet almost quarterly to make sure that Asia is seen by the world as the new frontier of coffee.
Now, Miss Chit, I wish we had 3 hours to talk, but I appreciate you condensing all of that into the 12-minute interview we had. So thank you so much for coming this morning.
My pleasure.
And
My
we're
absolute
excited
pleasure.
to visit your farm soon.
Yes, please do. We offer coffee farm tours. So just message us in our Instagram, and we can do it for a group for a couple, for solo, or for 15 people. Sometimes we have 30. We have to put them 2 batches because of farm. We also want to manage the carrying capacity of the farm.
Sorry, what are the social media accounts?
Yes. So Philippine Coffee, and then Facebook, it's Philippine Coffee Board, and we're on Threads. We're still on X. But Threads, we're Philippine Coffee also.
Great. Well, we'll see you guys all at the farm. Thank you so much again, the president of Philippine Coffee Board, Miss Chit Juan.
Thank you.
Now we've got more stories and conversations for you guys later on the show. Furniture designer Jed Yabut will be joining us live after the break to talk about his use of a classic Filipino material in his contemporary designs. It's a beautiful day. We'll be right back. Don't go away. Welcome back. You're still watching It's a Beautiful Day. Rattan is a common material when it comes to Philippine furniture. But our guest today made a name for himself by giving this classic Filipino material a fresh, modern perspective while honoring its cultural and historical roots. We now have in the studio furniture designer Jed Yabut. It's a beautiful day, Jed. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Now, Jed, before you ventured into furniture design, you practiced architecture in Singapore and Tokyo, right? So what inspired you to venture into furniture design? What was that like aha moment?
It was a pandemic.
Okay.
That was the aha moment for me.
Yeah.
I have been working as a project manager, not really as a designer back in Singapore and in Tokyo. But then I just I knew in my heart that I'm a designer at heart. So I just ventured into furniture design because out of the pandemic, it was really a sense of crisis that led me to it.
Okay.
Like I didn't know what to do, so I thought about designing something and then producing something. That was a moment of it. But yeah, it's really more of creating something out of nothing that really led me to do furniture design at that point. Yeah.
I like how you couldn't make buildings, so you decided to make furniture.
It's a smaller version of it.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
It's a smaller version of it. It's the same thing. It's easier for me to actually start anew with something small rather than creating something big.
Right.
And at that point, no one is basically out in the streets, or it's so hard for me to work with people because you can't be with people.
Yeah, you can't.
And
Right,
architecture
right.
is
Yeah.
a lot of collaborative work.
Right.
And you have to be face to face with everyone. So I thought I just design on my own, give it to somebody who can make it, and then that's it.
So bigla ka naging introvert.
In a way, yes. In a way, yes. In a way, yes.
You went back to the Philippines and you joined this furniture making workshop?
Yes,
Is that
so
correct? Okay.
I was very glad and very blessed to have known these furniture makers in Nueva Ecija. So during the pandemic, I was there 3 months. Shut down ako. So I was there working with them, designing and helping out, and also learning the tricks and the trades of how furniture making would be. And they were only on Rattan furniture making at that point.
Yeah, so I'm actually so curious why you chose Rattan.
Because at that point, everyone was so obsessed about bringing the outside indoors because we were so locked up
Right.
during the
Yeah,
pandemic,
yeah.
and therefore at that time people wanted to have plants. People would want to have wood rattan furniture in their houses. You know, the boho.
Chic vibe.
Yeah.
It was a big thing then. So I thought, okay, let's go with that trend of doing that. But let's make it Filipino. You know, back in the 80s, in the 70s, the Philippines was a huge exporter of rattan furniture.
Yes.
And it stopped because of the rise of Chinese and Indonesian, Vietnamese, Malaysian furniture makers as well. And so we were back in nasa background na tayo of the exporting industries of furniture making. And I thought, okay, maybe it's time again to restart that. And maybe it's possibly a good way to reintroduce Filipino furniture making in the world.
Yeah, and especially with a modern twist.
Yes, that's right.
So
That's
did
right.
you get most of your influence for that modern chic twist from your experiences in Japan?
Oh
or in
yeah, for
Singapore?
sure. I have been blessed to be working and living abroad for many years after I graduated. And then, so I take those inspirations and then see what is a global look, and then maybe twist that to something more Filipino also. And also, of course, the thought process, everything has to be Filipino as well. So, and with the hands, with the material, the hands of Filipino worker, handicraftsmen, and also the supply coming from the Philippines. So that's where the Filipino-ness is coming in.
You know, you mentioned that you work primarily with rattan, at
Yes.
least at one point. And it just occurred to me right before we started the segment, actually, when we were talking about it here, that one, there may be a generation who probably did not experience rattan like Anne and I did growing up. Because you mentioned it in the 80s and a bit of the 90s,
70s,
and 70s
yeah.
also.
Yeah.
Grabe, it felt like everywhere you went, there was rattan furniture
Yeah.
in the Philippines. But then you have someone like Mo, who grew up in the United States, who doesn't even know what rattan is.
Listen, I know of rattan. I know what rattan is. Like, it's some furniture in the Philippines. That's all I
Defensive mode
know.
na tuloy siya.
But I don't
Anyway.
know what it's made of.
No, my point is, do you feel that rattan could make a comeback? Should make a comeback, because it does feel distinctly Filipino,
Yeah.
and it's a
does.
material of choice for you.
So rattan is actually predominantly a tropical species of grass.
Yeah.
It's actually not really wood. It's not hardwood. It's actually grass.
Yeah.
It's not even in the same species as bamboo. So,
Yes.
well, it's still also a grass, but yeah. So the difference between rattan and bamboo is that bamboo has got a hole at the middle. When you cut it, the core of it has got a hole. The rattan does not, which makes it more flexible.
Yeah,
and which
fibrous.
Yes, and which makes it more easier to actually bend.
Yeah, it's more pliable.
Yes. So that's why, in terms of furniture making, rattan is more acceptable compared to bamboo because rattan is easier to bend. It can have more silhouettes. It could have more forms. It can be curved into a way which you want it to be. And bamboo, on the other hand, it's so difficult to do that.
It's stiff.
So it's really just, it's stiff, and you could only do it on a surface level of like, it needs to be just more geometric. And rattan, you could shape it into whatever form you want it to be.
How do you source it?
So we do have a source in Pampanga, and the source of Pampanga is all from different parts of the country. So we have them in Palawan, there's in Davao, there's a bountiful resource in Davao, in Mindanao.
Okay.
In Davao primarily also. Palawan has got a lot, and I know Palawan is pretty much the main source from China. Don't quote me, but yeah, of Chinese, the rattan furniture makers in China are coming from Palawan, and then we also have in Luzon. Yeah.
Where do you get your inspiration for your designs? Because I know you have this philosophy that you don't like copying like existing
for
works,
sure,
right? So where do you get inspiration from? How do you keep your designs fresh, modern, but at the same time honoring, our Filipino culture through the rattan?
It has always been an important thing that we do not copy. We want it, when we reintroduce Filipino furniture, it needs to be original. It needs to have our spirit. So what we do is we look at the iconic Filipino objects, like the bunot, the floor polishing.
Yes.
Or, for example, the beautiful beaches that we have, and then we turn them into furniture pieces. So, for example, we have the chandeliers named as bulalakaw or as haula. The haula chandelier is a beautiful alampay. This one, I think you could see that.
Yes,
this
there
one
you
is
go.
called liham, where it's actually folded letters.
Oh, wow.
So this is bulalakaw.
Oh, that's so
yeah.
beautiful.
Oh my
All your
goodness.
pieces are
Chandelier.
beautiful.
That is so
So,
nice.
so we use them as our inspirations to create these pieces so that when people see it, there is a nostalgic feeling that we wish is actually taken by the viewers of the public. Yeah.
Has there been a piece, I know you have a bunch of pieces, but has there been a piece that was maybe your most challenging but most rewarding to make?
I think one of the pieces that we have been challenging is also became more iconic for us. It's called the pabo. The pabo is that's a Filipino for peacock, the peacock chair. I don't know if you know the peacock chair, but it's actually
It looks like a throne.
yeah, it's a throne.
That was like the Game of Thrones chair earlier.
Yeah,
The
correct,
Filipino
correct.
Game of Thrones. It's beautiful.
But I don't know if we have that on
we
video.
saw it earlier. What?
Yeah, that's a
Paolo's
pabo
face?
chair.
Okay.
So basically, the peacock chair is one of the most iconic chairs that's ever been produced in the whole world.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's a Filipinos who actually did that. So back in the 1910s, in the National Bilibid prison, so the the prisoners there were actually working on the peacock chairs. So that's where their livelihood.
That one. See, the Filipino Game
That's a
of
pabo
Thrones.
chair.
I saw it earlier and I said,
Filipino Game
I
of
need
Thrones,
that.
I love it.
So the peacock chair is the iconic chair, and then we turned it into a more modern version, and that has been one of our iconic pieces in our collection. And that has been used in TV series and telenovelas here in the Philippines.
Yeah, I know your works were featured in Dirty Linen.
Dirty Linen,
Yeah,
yes.
where,
So
where
that's
you gained
where
recognition
that's
for
where
that.
Doña Cielo Fierro has been sitting on that show.
How did that collaboration come about?
It's basically it has been on our collection for quite a while, but then it's a very starking, interesting piece, and they thought it's fitting for a matriarch like the character of Doña Cielo.
I love, first of all, I love how this is actually a history lesson for Mo.
Yeah.
Because actually when you mentioned yung bunot, yung sa pang floor wax.
Yes.
She has no idea what that is.
Yeah,
That's a
I was
bunot
gonna
in there.
ask nga do you know what a
that's it.
bunot is?
Yeah.
No.
That's it on the left. Yeah.
On the left, you see
I'm
that
just
on
be
the
quiet.
left. So, oh my gosh. How do I explain this? It's a coconut husk.
Yeah, it's a coconut husk used to polish the
Used to
floor.
polish the floor
So you
using
step
your
on
foot.
it and then you.
Wow, may pa-demo
Yeah,
pa.
I have to demo it. Because, di ba, when we were young, our parents would say, oh, magbunot
Yes,
ka muna
magbunot
dyan.
ka muna.
Oh,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
We also have furniture called walis ting ting.
Yeah.
So its shape is like a walis ting ting.
Okay.
I
is like-
need these
yeah.
furnitures, especially
So-
that. Is that chair still available, Jed?
Yeah, it is.
I'm about to buy that. I'm like, oh, that's gonna be my new chair here. Sa akin lang.
Why not?
Kay Tessie Tomas
I should have brought it. Dapat pala dinala ko sa
Iniwan mo na lang. Oh. But my goodness. First of all, I just wanna. I am still trying to wrap my head around the shift that you made from working on buildings and now working with furniture, and you're still doing it. The pandemic is done, but here you are. You're still doing this.
yeah.
How was that shift like for you, and how has your life changed because of this shift to art?
It's been amazing. I mean, I've always said to myself, I wanted to become an entrepreneur. I really wanted to expand my network, and it has been super, super worthwhile, and it's been an amazing ride. Getting to know different clients, different suppliers, different entrepreneurs as well. You guys, it has led on to so many more opportunities for myself. In the case of being a salaried worker, you're just going to be sitting there, blah, 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 doing what you need to do. And it's more worthwhile, it's more productive, it's more meaningful. In a way, and you get to inspire young designers, young students that would always come up to you to say like, hey, Jed, I'm really inspired, and it really warms the heart. And I think that's what we really wish to do with continually doing this. And the pandemic is not just a phase for us, it was the beginning, and it's when we're here to just keep on going and going and going until Filipino furniture becomes at the fore of global furniture design making.
And I love that you said the pandemic's not the end, it was the beginning.
Yeah, it was the beginning.
So it's such a stark contrast, right? From most people, the pandemic is an endemic, essentially. But you mentioned too that globally, you want Filipino furniture to be recognized. So where do you see Filipino furniture going in the next 5 to 10 years?
Well, we wish to create more pieces that would become more interesting conversation pieces, and that it will become, dahan-dahan muna. So we try to make it first known in the Philippines, try to educate more Filipinos about what local furniture making is all about, the production and the manufacturing in the Philippines, and try to convince them to buy more local. Right. And to be more sustainable, and support the Filipino craftsmen and designers also. And slowly, little by little, we can go further in Southeast Asia and mostly in the West also.
Kamusta yung sales? From when you started nung pandemic until the present times, no? And then how did kasi not everyone is into like local local look, right? So did you see that evolve from the time when you started and now? Are there more people embracing this kind of design?
The trends in furniture making is super. It quickly evolves. At that point, Rattan was a big thing, and now we can see the shift that people want to go back to wood, that people would want to go to more upholstered pieces, which is becoming like what has been people are used to doing, and it seems that Rattan at that point is just a trend, but no, we're not stopping there, because at the end of the day, the sales is all about how hard you work as an entrepreneur, how hard the company works. So if you need to pivot, you pivot, but if you need to do more marketing, do more knowledge sharing about what truly Rattan is and how it would benefit your lives, then your sales will not stop.
Right.
So apart from it's locally made, it's sustainable, why Rattan? And what are is it better in quality than say like all the other furniture out there?
It's really more of putting back our historical roots, the nostalgic visions of what Filipino furniture is, and I think that's where where I wanted to start off my career is when people would know me as a person who designs furniture the Filipino way, the Filipino material way, and that's what I really believed in and I committed myself into. Of course, we're not just going to do Rattan as our primary material for forever and ever. We will have to pivot, whatever the trends of the market is, whatever the audience want us to do, we will do that. But, our core is the Rattan furniture because we feel that that's the most Filipino that we can do.
Jed, what's the next challenge for you? What challenge are you working on right now that you could share in terms of what's next, in terms of your next step, your next piece of work that we could all look forward to?
The evolution of the Jed Yabut furniture is basically in the pipeline. Like we would introduce more colors, more modern, the modern silhouettes will always be there, but it's really to make it a little bit more playful. So the Filipino, maybe yung Filipino games, we'll look into that. The Filipino traditional games, and then let's do it the furniture way.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
something
I'm
like that.
excited for that.
Yeah.
Tumbang preso, we'll just throw chinelas.
And we'll make it a little bit more playful. We'll see. There's a lot of stuff that we have in our sleeves at the moment. So a lot of plans in the pipeline. So We will really look forward to that. We're enjoying the whole process, and
Yeah.
we're just taking it all in.
Yeah, and I mean, everything you've been doing is amazing. I'm
Thank
such a
you,
fan.
thank you, Mo.
So,
Thank you.
this is a personal question. Where can I find you? And where can our viewers
So,
find you?
How's this a personal question? It's for everyone.
Where can I buy my Game of Thrones chair?
I mean, we do trade shows like the Manila Fame, which you're looking at now. So that's our Manila Fame booth back in October 2024. We are on trade shows. We have our social media channels on Facebook and Instagram. It's at Jed Yabut Furniture.
Okay.
We have our website, www.jedyabut.com. All the information will be there. The prices, the descriptions, the materials, everything is in there. We don't gatekeep our prices. We want to make it easier for our consumers to know how much we are priced.
Yeah.
Are you ready,
Thank you so
Mo?
much.
I'm ready. I'm ready to buy my chair. Bukas, Jed. I'm gonna have my chair here.
I want the bunot-inspired
Looking
furniture. Yeah.
It's
To
all in the
remind me
website.
of my
It's-
childhood, no?
Yeah.
But thank you so much,
Thank you
Jed,
too.
for joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, furniture designer Jed Yabut.
All right, so we've got more stories for you, plus our horoscope of the day from Master Hans Kua. After the break, it's a beautiful day. We'll be right back.
From the filing of candidacies until the last ballot is counted, your newest trusted news source, BNC, the Billionario News Channel, will be at the forefront to guide your decisions and guard your vote. Tune in to BNC's Election 2025 special coverage.
There's a big impact. Hindi natin nagiging daily practice yung fire prevention, yung fire safety. By the mere nga, paggamit ng extension wire, pag-dispose ng sigarilyo na may upos pa, and even yung iiwanan mong na sinaing or niluluto. Yung ganong consciousness po, kung magawa natin on a daily basis, the BFP is pretty sure bababa po or masi-zero po tayo when it comes to fire incident.
Welcome back. You're still watching It's a Beautiful Day. And of course, we have a lot more in store for you. First off, we're going to find out if it's your lucky day today. Let's find out for Feng Shui Master Hans Kua in our horoscope of the day.
Good morning! It's a beautiful day with Master Hans Kua. Ito po ang horoscope for Monday, March 24. Para sa mapinanganak ng Year of the Rat, mag-focus sa long-term financial goals. Yellow at 5. Ox naman tayo maglaan ng oras upang mas maging organized sa trabaho. Orange at 4. Kay Tiger naman ang pagiging supportive sa partner ay magdudulot ng inyong magandang samahan. Purple at 7. Rabbit naman tayo maging maingat sa mga investment na may mataas na risk. Red at 2. Dragon naman tayo, subukan ang stretching exercise para mas maayos sa circulation. Yellow at 8. Year of the Snake naman tayo, ugaling uminom ng tubig bago matulog. Red at 3. Ito naman! Say of the Horsey, huwag matakot na magtanong sa mga nakakataas. Green at 1. Kay Ship naman tayo, mag-ingat sa social media na maaaring magdulot ng away sa relasyon. Pink at 6. Monkey naman tayo, ang pagiging proactive ay magdadala ng magandang resulta. Orange at 4. Year of the Rooster naman, subukan ang bagong workout para mas maging fit. Silver at 8. Doggy naman, kung nasa love triangle, piliin ang tamang tao na tunay na magmamalasakit sa'yo. Red at 5. Pig naman tayo, panatiling simple ang lifestyle para makaipon ng husto. White at 7. Ako po, si Master Hans Kua. Paalala lang ito po'y patnubay lamang. Ang ang tunay na swerte ay nagsisimula sa pagiging totoo. Abangan ang horoscope of the day dito lang po sa It's a Beautiful Day!
Maraming salamat, Master Hans Kua. Dahil sa'yo, mag-workout mamaya si Mo.
Yes. But before I work out and make a fool out of myself, here's an update on Philippine Eagle Riley, who just turned 2 months old. The Philippine Eagle Foundation says Riley now weighs nearly 4 kilograms and can stand completely on its own for longer periods. Riley's caretaker says its wings are bigger and bolder than ever. They add it won't be long before the little fluff ball is practicing even more powerful flaps. Riley, or chick number 31, was hatched naturally last January 16 without any human intervention.
Riley's always twerking.
Yeah, if you guys haven't seen Paolo's TikTok from our last Riley item, he made a little twerking video of Riley. Oh, Riley's so big now.
Yeah, no, that was me.
know.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, the bird.
Look at that.
Sorry.
Oh my
You guys look the same naman eh. Even your color now, oh. Matching kayo.
Let me close this then. Hindi, kasi when you said Riley so big now, ako yung on cam eh. Kaya sabi ko, sandali lang, ako yan. Guys, hindi ako ibon.
Ayun, look, Riley's twerking.
Ayan o. Yeah, twerk it. Twerk it.
Well, once again, we're so happy that we are constantly doing Riley updates. It's one of my favorite parts of the show.
Me too.
And I'm so happy that Riley's, healthy and growing
Thriving.
steadily. Yeah.
I can't wait for chick number 32, hopefully soon. Coming
Yeah, I know,
soon.
but let's wait for Riley to start flying first.
Flapping the wings
Para
so
may friend
there.
naman si Riley. Oh.
Pwede naman, para naman kayo
Alright.
magpinsan. Or
So
You'll just weigh Riley down.
So that is it for us this on Monday, March 24. Ako po si Paolo del Rosario. We hope we made your Monday just a bit better. Thank you for joining us.
I'm Anne Asis-Carilo. Wherever this day takes you, always choose joy, spread kindness, and pack your own sunshine.
And I'm Monique Tuzon. Have a great Monday ahead. Join us again tomorrow at 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. Only here on
It's a beautiful day!